Well, now to India, where more than 40 people are dead after a suicide bombing rammed into a bus filled with troops. It happened yesterday in the disputed Muslim-majority region of Kashmir. It's the deadliest attack the region has seen this century. Dozens more soldiers are injured. A Pakistani-based terror group has claimed responsibility for the attack. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemned the attack on Twitter yesterday, saying that the sacrifices of our brave security personnel shall not go in vain. Modi's government blames Pakistan for the attack. They vowed revenge, but Pakistan denies any involvement. Tim Roemer joins me now from Washington. He's the former U.S. ambassador to India during the Obama administration and joins us now. Ambassador Roemer, thank you very much for joining us on this.
Thank you, Rena.
You bet. You really know these partners and these folks in the region very, very well. When you see a situation like this, what really do you explain to the American public is the point of tension here?
Well, in the press today, we hear a lot about the southern border of our country on Mexico being a flashpoint and at crisis. Here between India and Pakistan, two nuclear-equipped countries, both want Kashmir. They both claim it. They both have fought two wars over it. It's one of the most militarized places in the world. This truly can escalate into not only heightened tensions because they fought two wars over Kashmir, but it could escalate into even a more serious conflict than that.
You know, what surprised me, a diplomat who worked in this region also recently, just in the past week, told me that after visiting the region, he believes that there could be a potential of a nuclear war, that this isn't just some hyped up rhetoric, that you've got this new Prime Minister, Imran Khan, but you've also got Modi, who's facing general elections in May, that feel the need when attacks like this happen to respond. And diplomatic folks there in India have said they're not afraid to take some sort of military action that could result in potentially the death of billions of people on this continent.
Well, Rena, I don't think you're overstating it there, and that's something that the Trump administration should be spending time on, making sure we are diplomatically engaged. Look, we have Mr. Modi that is up in a much tighter re-election battle than he anticipated a year ago. Probably the election in India will be sometime in April or May. He's going to have to appeal to his base supporters in the BJP party and look tough on Pakistan. We've got Imran Khan up in Pakistan, a brand new leader of Pakistan's country. He has a bit of a radical base that has supported him. We don't know quite how volatile he can be. We don't know how much control he has over the military and the ISI, their intelligence services. So there's a lot of unpredictability and uncertainty there. And then another factor, Rena, is the United States and China. The United States has condemned these attacks by Jaish-e-Mohammed, the terrorist group that killed over 40 Indian soldiers. We want this group designated as a terrorist attack group in the United Nations. China has prohibited that. How the U.S. and China and the world engage in this will also be factors in how we see this de-escalated, hopefully, on a military, a diplomatic, and an economic point of view.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders released a statement condemning the attack. And Pakistan, at this point, we know President Trump has a close relationship with Modi. Do you believe the U.S. should get involved any further in this conflict? We've never really mediated the Kashmir situation before. Where do you think the U.S. can play an effective role here?
I do think that the United States and other countries and the UN have a role here to encourage India to take the right steps. We know Mr. Modi, like he did in 2016 in a similar type of terrorist attack, he had very carefully calibrated response going after the terrorist safe havens in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. He didn't attack Pakistani land per se. He did not go to airstrikes. He went to limited strikes for some type of retaliation. It'll be very, very important to keep an eye on that. Also, Rena, it's important the United States really strongly supports in a strategic relationship India, and we have been pulling back our support, cutting off aid to Pakistan because they have harbored these terrorist groups. We need to see them do more to prevent these kinds of attacks on a country that's a democracy and a strategic friend of ours and could result in a war in that area. area. So I think there is a role for the United States. There's a role for China to negotiate more diplomatically and creatively in the UN and help us designate Jaish-e-Mohammed as a terrorist group and not just protect Pakistan in this case.
All right, Tim Roemer, we're grateful to have your insights, someone who spent a great deal of time in the region. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Rena.